Welcome everybody to Echo Arena VRML 3. I am JG with the co-caster of Kit with cameraman of Luke. And on the side we have the White Knight with some White Castle. So yeah, this was a match that I was not planned on taking, but you know what? It's another cast to do, and I always love to see some new opportunities and new plays to start off. Kit, would you like to give us some stats about these teams?
It looks like that Primitive has a record of 3-6, 3 wins, 6 losses. And it looks like Toxic Thunder has 1 win. So a new team in Toxic Thunder, so it'll be interesting to see how they play. I always love seeing the new teams and see how they come out fighting. It'll be interesting to see how they go.
Yeah, sometimes bronze teams have just been getting so much better than honestly what I normally expect. And with everything, I have just seen that with a lot of these bronze teams, they have been doing a lot better job just putting that energy through, making some really nice shots and just nice everything. So I'm really excited to see these two teams. We got Toxic Thunder with a 1-0 record. So this team might be gold, diamond. We don't know. We are going to see that live. So yeah, Primitive, I'm excited to see what they have in stock. And yeah, this is all just the wit of the game and just to see how they play. So we had the all ready to start this match up, and we are waiting for their teams to ready up. So yeah, just before we get started, we have some people in the chat. We got TechnoShot in the chat yelling at me for talking in chat while we were starting up. We have Bodie's rooting for Toxic Thunder. We've got Lucky Steve rooting for Kit, saying he or she is very proud of you, girl. We got Giwi saying who. We got Lucky Steve. Right, Steve is probably a he, if I'm correct. We got obviously, yeah, just everybody here is actually brand new, so we're all very excited to do this, and oh my god. Night. We're just very excited to do these matches, and we're getting all of our opportunities to, just cast and just have some fun, because this is really enjoyable for us, and it's super exciting to do this types of stuff. So, I don't know if this team has seen the ping, so we're going to, what's it called? We're gonna have to maybe give them a double ping, but, yeah, I'm not sure. We got Killionaire Clo. I think it's Killionaire. I think that's how I pronounce her name. Let me know if I botched that. Going for Toxic Thunder. A lot of people are actually rooting for Toxic Thunder, so it's a pretty high vote for them. So let's see if they can get all that hype and bring that momentum through. So yeah, this is going to be a really exciting match. We're going to hopefully get them to ready up. You got Rubik's Cube Master to rooting for Toxic Thunder, obviously, and we've just got everything. And I want to see some people rooting for Primitive. You can't give all the love to just Toxic Thunder, or they just got a bunch of their friends and family, which is completely fine. But it's kind of embarrassing to see the opposing side with no other people that are rooting for the team. So it's hope Techno Shot going with the go Toxic Thunder so I don't get killed by chat. That is completely okay. You can root for whatever you'd like to. But yeah, so I don't know if they did see it, so we might have to, I don't know if they're waiting for us. I don't know what's the problem. I'm going to listen to the comms, seeing what they might be saying. Oh, yeah, obviously. Obviously not. Thank you for the reminder.
It's interesting to see here. Both teams ready to go. It's going to be a good game, I think. Maybe a close one. It's also nice to see that in chat people are rooting for us newcasters. I think some of us are a bit nervous, and it's good to see that we're doing a good job and that people appreciate us. So thank you, viewers, for hanging around and giving us some love. I never thought that I would be here, and now I am, and it's pretty awesome.
Now, we were actually going to be starting this up. They overheard our conversations, or they just thought that they didn't check the pings, and now they finally are going to ready up, and we're going to start this off. Toxic Thunder against Primitive, and we're going to see if all the hype in the chat comes to be true. What are your predictions for this, Kit?
I am not sure. Like, the way Toxic Thunder's being hyped up, it makes me think they're going to win. It makes me want to go for the underdog. A great headbutt there from Toxic Thunder, but it's getting stuck in that trap area, picked up by Primitive. Primitive clearing that disc downfield, and it's still going to get picked up by Toxic Thunder.
You Got Jack is going to be pushing it through, hopefully trying to get it through, but unfortunately he's going to make a weird bounce through, getting stuck in mid with a little bit of airtime. We're going to see who can possibly get this disc. Looks like Wolf is going to be stunned out, giving a little bit of a boost down to the headbutt. It's going to be heading back into Orange's possession, and hopefully Hypers can bring this through and gain that repossession, but Lily is going to be able to make it through, going for that two-pointer, but You Got Jack is going to be able to throw it. Taking his time, his sweet old time. Oh my god.
Polar with what we call the Dusty in OCE, passing it down to Wolf. Wolf slamming it in for 2. And Primitive are going to take away the first points here.
Yeah, that's one of my more favorite types of shots is the slam dunks. The top, left, right pockets is that it's so hard for goalies to go against that. And that's what you got to use to your advantage, is that if a goalie is good at their job, then just take what they aren't good at. Or pretty much all goalies aren't good at it specifically unless you know exactly what to do. And yeah, Superhero Kid is going to be walking this through, going to be doing some juking, and Polar's going to be able to save that, intercepting it. Bring it down to Wolf the Plug. Wolf the Plug is going to be trying to go for that plug shot through, possibly making that bounce shot. But it is going to be a little bit to the right. So Toxic Thunder is trying to get that disc from Lily. But Lily is going to throw it down with no connection. It does look like Toxic is going to be able to toss it through, but CJ is going to be able to toss it through, giving it down into Wolf. But nothing to happen successfully.
Primitive looking for a shot there, but unfortunately just missing. But they're going to chase it down. Great stun there by Toxic Thunder. Going to slap it down the field, and it's going to be loose in the Primitive side. Primitive with the disc now, slapping it downfield, and it looks like that Primitive is going to pick that up first, clearing it across. A 3-man stack there from Toxic Thunder, meaning that they get the disc back, looking for that pass, but it just goes wide.
Now we're going to try and see if Wolf the Plug can make something, but he is going to plug it straight back into his own Geo. Polar are going to be trying to make that clear through, making another bounce shot through. CJ going for that slap shot, and it going to be heading down into lower trench. It is going to be gained back to the possession of Hypers. Hyzerp. I think that's how you pronounce it, but Hyzerp going to be trying to go through with a lot of back and forth, so I think that this match is actually pretty evenly distributed. Oh! Polar's actually going to be able to make that long shot. It looks like he was lagging on my side, but I don't think on stream it did show, but that was a nice open three-pointer from Primitive. Primitive is going to now have that 5-point lead possession.
Toxic Thunder now with the disc, looking for that pass downfield. Great pass to Hyzerp, I think. Hyzerps. Great shot there by You Got Jacked. Great pass, great play. And now they're back within 1 goal. Great job there from Toxic Thunder.
Maybe it was just that little bit of momentum that they had to get to start to go towards that, but it looks like Toxic Thunder might have that momentum, and sometimes teams just have to warm up a little bit. Player's going to be able to gain that disc at the beginning, trying to make it through. Stunning. It looks like Hyzerp with Wolf the Plug going to be trying to go for that plug shot through. Possibly handing it down to Lily, but Puller's going to be able to gain that disc, trying to make a cut down to Wolf, but there's a miscommunication there. Going to be passing it down to Lily with, again, a unfortunate misconnection through that shot. It's going to be slapped right through back into mid, and Lily's going to be able to gain that repossession.
Toxic Thunder picking up the disc now, looking for that pass, but it just bounces off the shield. Still able to recover. It bouncing up into that trap area again. Oh, a nice try and leech there from Polar, but unfortunately Toxic Thunder still getting that disc back and into the opponent's side. Wolf going to pick up that disc and slap it downfield. It's going to be a race to get to that disc first, and Toxic Thunder's backline player picks it up.
Yeah, Techno, kind of like what you were saying, is that Toxic Thunder has that momentum, and if they can push this through, that they could really do some really good movement. And I forgot to realize that Toxic Thunder is literally self-plugging his own website, which is kind of funny, to be honest. I just realized that, but it's going to be giving some nice passes to Toxic Thunder with a little bit of a miscommunication at the end. Looks like both of these teams love their slap shots because of how fast they go. So hopefully that these slap shots can actually make something good and bounce in the right position.
Both teams doing an amazing job to keep it very back and forth. It's a really close game, and close games are good games. So it's great to see. They're both doing an amazing job, and a great intercept there from Polar. Polar clearing it back down the field. It looks like it's going to go the whole way. Is it going to bounce in? No, it's not. It's just off slightly. Wolf going for that shot in the save.
What a save! Wow, great save by, looks like it was You Got Jacked. Great saving. Another great save by You Got Jacked, and he is pretty jacked at making those great split-second saves. I know as a goalie on how satisfying that can be. It looks like it's about to go in, but you got the goalie saving it, and it feels pretty unsatisfying to not make that goal in. You Got Jacked is going to be trying to go for that disc, making a slap through, clearing it down, with it actually barely skimming on the top of tunnel with CJ's. CJaz, I think that's how I pronounce your name. Sorry if I botched it. It's going to be heading back down to mid with Polar making a nice throw down into Orange's possession / side.
And Toxic Thunder going to pick up that disc again. Looks like they're going to slow it down a bit here. Oh, yep, they're going to slow it down and try and keep possession of that disc. A clear now, downfield. Oh, the bounce, maybe? No, not quite. Great pickup there from Primitive, but bouncing it back into Toxic Thunder's hands. Toxic Thunder going to go for that shot, and they're going to bring it within 1 point.
Now, great plays by Toxic Thunder there is that at these slower levels is that if you can make those passes, you can really throw off those teams. And if you can throw off those teams, pump up the volume. Alright, I'll pump up the volume, man. If that's what you want. I mean, I don't want to get yelled at for speaking too loud, but there's going to be a possible bounce shot into goal. It's going to be into Wolf the Plug's possession for a point. He's going to be dinging it at the bottom pocket. Unfortunately, Lily going to be trying to go for a self-redemption towards Wolf. Wolf is going to be going for that two-pointer, but he will be he's unfortunately going to be stunned out throughout that journey of his. Wolf the Plug going for a second attempt with Super Kid going to be able to gain that repossession. Now heading back into Orange's blue side,
Toxic Thunder now with the disc. Looking for that shot, but just bouncing off the nest. Primitive picking up that disc first and clearing it back downfield. It's going to be loose in that trap area once again. Toxic Thunder with the disc again. Going downfield. And Primitive scooping it back up again.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of slaps, which I don't see a lot of, just where people do so many slaps. It's like a slap fest of just, I feel like if they were good at any other sports, it'd be slapping people, because the amount of slaps that they are doing is pretty absurd. And we just hit the 50-second mark, and it looks like Primitive is going to have that momentum. And if they can make this goal, they could most likely seal the deal for this first round. Polar going to be trying to go for that 2-pointer, making it in. Just as I was speaking, that is going to be a 3-point difference, and unless Toxic Thunder can make that 3-pointer, this is going to be going towards Primitive.
Definitely interesting here. It's still within 1 goal, so Toxic Thunder can still come back this round. It's going to be close. It's going to be interesting to see how they pull it off. If they can get a 3-pointer, they can take it to overtime.
Yeah, and with that, looks like, it is going to be stunned out, and Superhero Kid is going to be able to bring that through with some bounces, a possible 3-pointer, but CJ is going to bring that through, securing the deal for Primitive for the first round. Knight, what'd you think about this round?
Yeah, what a close game from both teams. Only coming away with the 2-pointer at the end. Just some notes. A lot of slaps, as you mentioned before, specifically from Wolf. As soon as I realized there was a lot of slaps coming, I started counting, and I counted 8 just from Wolf. As that a lot of rushed players on the side of Primitive as well. Polo there, definitely a player to look at. Doing some styling, and definitely knows what he's doing with the disc. In general, for Team Primitive, they aren't very looking aware. They aren't looking around as much as they should be, and they're getting stuffed a couple times more than they should be, along with the panic slaps. But on Toxic Thunder, you got jacked. Great goalie, some great saves, almost 2 in a row right there. Props to him for just making those saves right in time. Hyzerp X as well knows what he's doing. He's resetting to his backline player as much as he can, although that backline player is not always ready for it. He is still resetting that backline player, which is allowing their team to keep possession of the disc. Superhero Kid, doing great in general, knows where to place himself, just needs to build his confidence with his shot. But I noticed early in the round, they had a great offensive joust. It went to tunnel, to left pack, to floor, and in the goal. It took like 2 seconds, and it was a great joust. And so props to them for that as well as we head into round 2.
Yeah, thank you, Knight. Great points that you made there. And going into this, hopefully Toxic Thunder can come back. I know it's always the second round that gets us, and Toxic Thunder is going to be able to gain that first possession, taking their time, not doing any headbutts. Jack's looking for something, but is not going to be able to find any connection. Superhero and Lily, is going to be trying to go for something, while Toxic is going to be intercepted by Wolf, getting that through with Jack's going to be able to make that clear shot, intercepting it.
Great passing play here by Toxic Thunder, just unfortunately just missing a couple of those passes. I think that comes with being a new team and finding your rhythm and finding your gel. It's not easy being a new team, whereas Primitive have been around for a little while, if I remember correctly, looking at stats. So it's interesting to see how well Toxic Thunder is doing for a new team.
Yeah, and while that's speaking, that was almost a possible 3-pointer going to be going towards Primitive. Primitive going to be trying to go for something with that backboard bounce shot. And it is going to be heading back to Polar to redeem, hopefully trying to go for a second score. Interception, Jack going to be making that jacked interception, being a huge asset to this team. Toxic Thunder going to be trying to go for it, with CJ and Toxic going to be trying to fight for it. A little bit of missing, and it's going to be heading right back into Jack's hands, throwing it down into Blue's side.
Polar now with that disc, looking for that long clear, bouncing in the midfield. It looks like that the backline player is going to pick it up. Oh, the stun, the slap from Primitive, and Jack managing to slap it back. It's still stuck in that trap area. Both teams looking to slap it out, but it just keeps bouncing off the geometry. Primitive now looking and getting it out, but both getting stunned out, but Primitive still picking up that disc. Great slap there from Toxic, but unfortunately back into the hands of Primitive. That disc still, it's bouncing between all the players, but Toxic Thunder managed to get it out and downfield. It's going to be a race to see who gets to that disc first.
Polar is going to be able to gain that repossession and going to be waiting all this time to try and find something with Wolf. Going to be doing going to be doing a little bit of juice towards Wolf. Or sorry, Toxic Thunder, excuse me. They're going to be going through with Lily, going to be throwing it down with Jack, making those great interceptions, being a great asset, being defensive, and just helping with everything. Looks like they are going to be taking their time with a shot, hopefully going for a three-pointer, giving them a high advantage. But taking their time on these types of throws is highly important.
The disc loose now in the midsection. It looks like Toxic Thunder is going to get there first. Slapping it back into their half, probably looking for that back pass. It's now being cleared back into Primitive's side of the field, and Primitive is going to pick up that disc and slap it out of the bubble.
Superhero Kid is going to be getting sunned out by CJ, trying to throw it down, unfortunately bouncing off of Popcorn. He's going to be heading down to Wolf Plug, but unfortunately is going to be a back and forth dogfight. Like to call it, as in like the World War II dogfights that you would always have. They would go back and forth fighting with each other with not real any resolution until there's that one moment that causes everything to topple and fall. Polar is going to be able to make that through, sending it all the way down into Orange's side, with Jack hopefully trying to get it before Blue side can get there and make a goal.
Primitive again with that strong pickup and clear. But that backline player is just going to miss it, and Superhero Kid picking it up and it getting stuck in that trap area again. Great pass down there. Oh, there was no one to connect. And Toxic Thunder picking up that disc again. It's going to bounce back into Toxic Thunder's half. It looks like that Toxic Thunder actually manages to get a pull off the enemy player and get it back. But that backline player for Primitive picking it up again, going for the shot, but it just goes wide. Oh, great shot there from Lily.
Yeah,
just being able to read it and pick it up and slam it in for 3.
Yeah, with that three-pointer, that is going to give them a great help, because we just hit the halfway mark of this round. So if they can keep that and continuously go with that back and forth movement, that this could be possibly game and make Primitive 2-4-0. I think we did have a little bit of a graphical glitch. Primitive is the one with the first round win, but Jack, while I'm saying that, Jack is going to be resetting it down to Toxic. Toxic going to be trying to go for Jack. Jack going to be going for that shot. Unfortunately, not going to be able to make that connection through, and is going to be given some airtime.
Toxic Thunder now with that disc looking for that pass, but it just goes too high for their player to be able to connect, meaning Polo will pick up that disc and clear it downfield. It's going to be a race to the disc again. Teams getting those stacks together and getting down there. Toxic Thunder with that disc, looking to clear it downfield. Toxic Thunder, the person now with the disc, clearing it down that field, and the bounce. It's going to come close and it's going to go in! What a shot there from Toxic Thunder!
That is going to tie it up, and that was their retaliation. That was their answer. That was what they needed to tie this up. They had that movement, and it was a great shot indeed by Toxic. That is going to tie it up, giving them that momentum, and hopefully maybe show on how good Toxic Thunder is, and to show on what they can really do in these matches.
Great pickup there by You Got Jacked. You Got Jacked with 2 players on him, but still getting that disc down the field. Primitive looking to pick it up, but just misses it, and then gets it after all. Some readjusting, and unfortunately the pass is going to go loose, but still scooped up. I think Primitive are panicking a little bit here. Great shot attempt there by Toxic Thunder, but Blue managing to get a hand on it and get it out of their bubble.
Polar is going to be able to send that through, making some fortunate bounces through, but Jack obviously is going to be there with that interception, giving them that time. He's that he isn't a perma goalie, like I like to say, because that would be inside of the bubble, but he's a good defense and just make sure that they're secure, that Toxic Thunder, Hyper, and Super can handle themselves while Jacked is there in defense when it's needed. And as soon as they need to swap out, possible 3, but Jack obviously is there to intercept it. From my angle, it did look like it was going to be going in, and they're going to be wasting time, hopefully, maybe making this into an overtime. Hopefully, that would be awesome, to try and see if they can retaliate themselves and get another goal.
Primitive now with that disc getting stunned out, but still picking it up. A great intercept there by Superhero Kid, looking for that clear down the tunnel. Primitive using Superhero Kid as a anchor to pull off and gain some speed. Toxic again with the disc, but getting stunned out. It's a war here to get it out of the midfield. It just is going back and forward. It almost goes into Toxic Thunder's bubble, but not quite. That pass and miscommunication there means it's going to go loose.
Yeah, with Lily Max going to be trying to go for a retaliation, making a cut down to Polar. Polar going a little bit slow, but that slow is going to give them just enough time to make that shot, making it now a 3-5. Hopefully giving Primitive that second round win. Unless Toxic Thunder can maybe make another 3-point shot, that this is looking pretty solid towards Primitive.
And it's still within 2 points, so it's anybody's game. Toxic Thunder now slowing down their plays, looking for that slow, easy passes. It looks like that Primitive is going to take a more defensive motion. Oh, off the head there. But Primitive still with that disc, looking for a slow shot, maybe picking it up. No, Primitive is going to intercept and get it out of the bubble.
Looks like it is going to be staying down towards Toxic Thunder. If they can keep this offense in this momentum, then they can really get another goal. They still have a lot of time on their hands that they can easily retaliate something. Toxic trying to go for that 2-pointer, making that slam dunk, being extra safe, secure, giving that toxic part of him. I don't know if you would call it toxic, but it is all tied up in the last 30 seconds. Unless something crazy happens with these two teams, then this will be going to an overtime.
There's still 20 seconds left in the round. Primitive looks like they're going to play it slow and probably take it to the overtime. Looking for that clear downfield. They get the clear. Their backline player from Toxic picking it up and looking to clear it downfield. It's going to be really close here. Primitive going to get that disc first. 5 seconds left. We'll be going to overtime.
Oh, wow. Great plays and great comeback by Toxic Thunder. Their momentum at the beginning was a little bit iffy, but I think all the fans that we did have just led up to this, and they had that strength, they had that momentum, and that Thunder built up and made a huge crash and caused them to come back. And let's see if Toxic Thunder can come down for a third round and show who's boss.
Toxic Thunder with the headbutt. Primitive looking to grab that disc, but just missing it twice. Toxic Thunder going to pick it up, slap it off to his teammate, but Primitive picking up that disc and clearing it down the field. Toxic Thunder's backline player picking it up, looking for that pass. The pass goes off to Superhero Kid. Superhero Kid puts it in for 2, and we're going to round 3.
Wow, that was a great play by them, and that's how it's going to be going. It's going to be going to a round 3, and this is honestly awesome. I'm really excited to see this, but Knight, what do you got to say about what happened this round?
Yeah, definitely a great round from both teams with that overtime, taking it to round 3. Toxic Thunder with all 7 points that round. The lucky bounce 3 and duking 2 to send it into overtime, and then making that last points there, as you saw, to go into round 3. So, Jacked, though, on the defense with 8 interceptions through midfield, and I also counted on Primitive sides, the panic slaps. There was about 11 of them just that round, in addition to the 8 from last round, and all of them were either missed passes or right into the hands of Jacked and the other team. I think we might have a pause here even, or a timeout before the in-between round timeout. I can see as both teams are very rushed and jittery, especially with the casting nerves, and I can imagine that they would want to take a break. But I'll take a quick look at the stats here. So, Toxic Thunder with 5 points, so not all 7 points, my bad. So Toxic Thunder with 5 points, 1 assist. You got Jacked with 2 points, 2 assists, and 6 saves on goal. What a guy. On a Superhero Kid with 4 points, 1 assist, and 1 save. On the side of Primitive, Polar coming away with 7 points right now, 1 assist and 2 saves. CJazz, although not too much heavy with stats, all zeros, but does have 17 stuns. So a little bit of a brawler there. Wolf the Plug has 2 points, 2 assists, and 2 saves, and Lily Max with a 3-pointer and 1 assist. So good job from both teams on these stats and the passing and the assists as the game gets unpaused here. So hopefully these teams can recover from the casting nerves and the pressure from these last 2 games and bring it back together and bring it back for this round.
Yeah, thank you, Knight, for that, and I've got to agree with you completely that even a lot of these teams have, or a lot of teams like this, you don't have to have points and scores to, you don't have to worry about the stats on the board. Most of the time, you can just see what they have done in game and make sure that this will be going to a 3rd round with. Oh my god, Primitive is actually going to be able to get that headbutt through. Given that energy, I think they had a little bit of that primitive instinct inside of their body to get that ready. Superhero Kid is going to be trying to go for something. He's going to actually be able to make that stun through with Toxic Thunder, going to be able to throw that down with CJ able to gain that repossession.
It's now in the Toxic Thunder bubble. Toxic Thunder picking up that disc, clearing it downfield. A great intercept there from CJS. Picking up that disc, looking for that pass off. Great passing play here from Primitive. Oh, unfortunately that pass goes a little wide. Still going to be picked up by Primitive though. Primitive going for a pass but doesn't have anywhere to connect. Toxic Thunder going to capitalize on it. Looking for a clear or a pass.
Yeah, Toxic Thunder is going to be able to try and go for a shot, but unfortunately Wolf is going to be able to make that slap off. A little bit of a risk and reward if you go for that slap off is that sometimes it can be super accurate and super fast, or sometimes it can be somewhere completely different from where you actually expect. You got Jax trying to go for that jacked anchor shot, but unfortunately, it's going to be heading up to Trap, making some bounces. It's going to be given a little bit of airtime, giving Toxic Thunder to be able to gain that repossession and get ready for defense and try and go for anything. We are a minute 30 in with no goal possible. I like to think of a lot of these types of games of, you can think about all you want with like the rounds that have happened and like, oh, these teams are so bad, but that first round, that the first actual play that happens is most likely the longest, and then the movements just come through and it takes the longest to get through since it's already been 2 minutes.
Primitive now with the disc, looking for those passes. Oh, just a couple of passes bouncing a bit wide. A slap there from Primitive. But Toxic Thunder, oh, just missing that disc. Primitive picking it up. Primitive with the stun and the pass, but the pass is just missed. Toxic going to pick it up, and they're going to look for those passes, try and waste a bit of time here, clearing it down that field.
You know, even if that Jack didn't even make that full of a clear, it bounced perfectly right into Toxic Thunder's side and able them to get a chance to make a goal. But Jack is going to be there, obviously, to make that defense move. And since nobody's there, you know that if you make a throw and you don't know that you don't have somebody to attack Jack, you are most likely screwed because, you know, it's all about trying to figure out all of this stuff. But yeah, still, we are 3 minutes in with no goal. I might have just jinxed it, but I did not. I hate jinxing myself. That is the worst thing possible.
Great pick up there by Toxic Thunder. Toxic Thunder going to go for that pass and then the clear. Bouncing off some Geo. It's going to be loose in the mid. Primitive picking up that first. Going for that long clear. Downfield, they're going to pick it up. They're going to go for the bounce. It just goes a little wide. Toxic Thunder going to pick up that disc. Slowing it down again. Keeping the pace where they want it. It's going to bounce up in that trap area, and Primitive is going to slap it back into Toxic Thunder's side.
Jacked is going to be able to gain that repossession and prepare for another attack. Looks like Toxic Thunder is going to be able to gain that disc, juking through Primitive sides. And they're going to be able to slap that through. Hopefully Toxic going to be able to make something else, but unfortunately Polar is going to be able to throw it down, causing some uproar with this. And to be surprised, I have yet to jinx it, but nothing has yet to come out by both sides. It has been almost 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Very funny numbers, but it is very cool to see all these types. But I might have just jinxed it with a possible 2-pointer, but Jack is going to be able to make that interception, causing it to have the first round last even longer.
Primitive with the disc now, going for that pass to Ness. Ness going to the shot, but it just dings. A great save there from Jacked. Jacked clearing it down the field. It bouncing back in, and Primitive picks it up. Great bounce pass-ish there. Great pickup by Jacked. And Primitive's going to pick it up again. Primitive giving it all out and just going for it. Primitive getting... Oh, sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, this is just a continuous back and forth. I feel like they've studied each other, and all this stuff is honestly crazy to see this back and forth. I don't even think I could last this long without an OT, but surprisingly, it has happened, but in a normal match, and I've had about 3 of those, so maybe about 1.5 of the private matches might happen. But yeah, this is really awesome to see these two teams going against each other, fighting off and studying each other to figure this stuff out. Lily looks like trying to go for that throw, but CJ is going to be able to gain that catch. And yeah, a little bit of lag on the cameraman's side, so we're going to hopefully try and get that fixed. But in the meantime, I will for sure try and get this figured out. Wolf the Plug going to be handing it down to Polar with an unsuccessful connection, and Polar going to be trying to go for that redemption down to Lily with a goal, and Jacked is going to be able to save it.
Jacked pulling off some amazing stunts here. It's just incredible to see. Primitive with the disc again. Amazing intercept. Oh, it tries to get that pass off, but gets stunned out in the process. Toxic going to pick it up first, getting stunned out. It's still going to stay in that trapped area. Primitive with the disc again, looking to clear it downfield. Bouncing off some Geo. Toxic's going to pick it up. It bounces off somebody else's head. Stun out there from Primitive. Primitive with the disc again, slapping it downfield. It's now going to enter Toxic's bubble and leave the bubble again with a slap and a clear.
Yeah, no, those are one of the amazing slaps that you can have that could just go literally so far across the map and just completely change up the game. Looks like Hyzerp is going to be able to make it through with a superhero kick, going to be trying to go for something with an unsuccessful connection. But it is going to be heading back down, making some unfortunate bouncings through. Hopefully, Hyzerp is going to be able to make that pass through, and it looks like lag was fixed for a second, but I will not say anything else until it is fully fixed.
We apologize for the lag in advance. It's unfortunate, but unfortunately, because we are new at the game, we do quite often have technical issues. So thanks for being patient with us. We're trying our best as we're new. You guys are awesome. Primitive now. Oh, sorry. Toxic Thunder now with the disc. I got my team's muddled up again. Primitive chasing that disc down, picking it up, looking for that clear, bouncing off the lip of the tunnel. It looks like Toxic Thunder's going to get to that disc first, just slapping it back, unfortunately, into the trap area where Primitive is going to take advantage, clear it downfield, but Toxic Thunder's backline player just knowing exactly where to sit, going for that pass there, but unfortunately just missed, and a clear there from Toxic Thunder, putting it back in Primitive's side.
CJs, I am so sorry for the pronunciations, are going to be still trying to go for something with a minute 30 left. This is honestly astonishing for this round to go this far without any type of goal that whoever makes a goal is going to be able to make a goal, and this might be the make or break or something that they might be able to go for it. Lily is going to be walking it through, trying to go for something, hopefully a cut down below, but Jack is going to be able to make that interception again and go through again. It is going to hit the minute mark in just 5 seconds, and we are still in no score, which is honestly astonishing for these low levels they're just fighting back and forth, putting all of their effort to try and not get the other team to score while trying to make goals themselves.
Both teams doing an amazing job here. Just they're reading the situation so well, keeping the disc between them. It's so amazing to see. It's very, very rare you see a game with very low scores. Like, even bronze games, you generally see a 6-4 situation. But it looks like here, whichever team can score may win the game. If Primitives can score here, and they do! They're going to get a 3-pointer, and it's going to go to Primitive's side. It's going to be very difficult for Toxic Thunder to come back here.
It isn't, actually. This is going to be going towards Primitive's side, and they are going to be winning this because the clock is running down.
Oh,
Game
yeah.
is over. It is going to be going down to Primitive's side, and they are going to be winning this game. What a great fight. And Knight, what do you think about this extremely long third round?
Oh my gosh, what a game. No points being scored into the last second there. Primitive taking it away in 3. Although the lucky let's see. Toxic Thunder there with the miracle on that long bounce shot in round 2, taking them to round 3. Unfortunately, could not pull it off. Definitely capable of doing that, though. And both teams, that last round was way better than the first 2. You guys definitely cleaned it up. I don't know if you were listening to me or not, but you definitely took up on some tips that I did. Whether or not you did that or not. No points being scored. The defense from both teams, especially Jack, one of the new goalies here, I'm definitely going to be looking out for in the next upcoming weeks.
I mean, yeah, I've seen so many saves by You Got Jacked with an astonishing 10 saves with these stats. He has done the most help out of everything, and even though they did not win this game, it was still an amazing feat by him for them to last this long without any types of breaks or whatever. They just kept on pushing, but other than saves, he actually had the longest possession time with 5 minutes and 36 seconds. So I've got to give kudos for Jack for this brand new team to have such a amazing talent and push through on such a long match like this one. Kit, what do you got to say?
My mic was muted. Oops. I'm just amazed at that third round. It was so close. Both teams absolutely clutching it out. The clutch saves, the clutch shots. Just, I don't think I've seen a game in a really long time that has been no scores until that 20-second mark. That was insanely crazy. Great job to both teams. You did an amazing job to keep fighting, and don't be sad that you lost, or because it's not a loss. That was a great game. Absolutely amazing job to both teams.
So yeah, Knight, if you got anything else you'd like to wrap up?
Nope.
I would like to mention that in 30 minutes, we are going to be casting Echo Japan vs Pineapples, an OCE game, in 30 minutes on VRML 2.
So yeah, you guys can see us there. You will see us on VRML 2. So if you'd like to hop over to there while you wait. So if you want to watch a OCE match, which is probably, I think that's one of the first things I've ever done in, I think this is a first time for me, but yeah, this is honestly astonishing, and you guys did a great job. Shout out to everybody here, the league moderators, everybody who helps out with the community. We've got, again, White Knight, thank you again for the sidelines, Kit with the co-casting, and Luck with the unfortunate lagging, but still a great cameraman. But other than that, this has been JG. We got White Knight, Kit, and Luck. Stay happy, stay everything, like Palador says, But other than that, hopefully you guys have a vibing night, day, afternoon. And until then, we'll see you guys in around 30 minutes.
Season 3 of VRML Echo Arena is brought to you by HyperX, Rebuff Reality, Asterion Products, ProTube VR, VR Cover, Fixed Gaming, and VRware.net.